Hi, Declan Dorr here, CEO and founder of Dorr Concepts and co-creator of the Superpreneur training programs. This is a video I've been talking about doing for a number of years now, and today's the day I'm doing it. This is the year that I'm going to actually shoot this video here, and the subject of it is there's a gift in everything. What I'd like to ask you is this: have you ever had a moment in your life where when you look back on it, it was very pivotal on where you are right now in your life? It changed everything. It changed where you are now, where your every part of what you do was shaped around this moment in your life. Well, for me personally, this is why I'm shooting this video here for you today. It's because 14 years ago, I had one of those moments. It was pivotal for me personally. Everything changed in all aspects of my life. And what happened was, and I'd love to share this story with you here, is back in 2014, or 2004, sorry, not 2014, back in 2004, I was a young man, I was 21, I was very fit, very athletic, loved sport, loved life, and I was doing my final exams to become a qualified electrician inside the LIT College in Limerick. And back in 2004, St. Patrick's Day fell on a Wednesday. Okay, St. Patrick's Day is the most celebrated day here in Ireland, and we have a day off as well. So it's a celebrated day where we drink Guinness or we go out and celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Hence the reason I've done my best to wear my best St. Patrick's top that I have. So what happened was, in 2004, Monday, Tuesday, I was doing my exams. Monday and Tuesday. St. Patrick's Day fell on a Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday I was doing my final exams. Going to be a qualified electrician. Happy days. Everything was going to be great. So Tuesday, which was the 16th of March, which is the day that I'm shooting this video, is Friday the 16th of March 2018. So what happened was, done my exam, I got a phone call from a good friend of mine called Gary Dundon. Gary rang me and he said, "Declan, will we go out tonight to a nightclub outside Nina in Tipperary called Maximus?" I had never been there, but I go anywhere where there's good music and I can dance, because I just love to dance. So I said to Gary, absolutely, let's go, let's have a fun night and let's make the most of it. So I remember I was sitting in Gary's car and we were driving towards Nina, driving towards the nightclub. And I remember having this thought process going on in my mind, and this feeling of, I hope something happens to me tonight and I can't do my final exams on Thursday and Friday. Now when I say something happened to me, I was hoping I might sprain my wrist or something that where I couldn't sit and actually do my exams. Because internally I really did not want to be an electrician, and I'm just saying that now, whereas I didn't know this at the time, but I was having this thought process of I just couldn't see my future as being an electrician. So I remember going out that night. We had a great night. The music was blasting out. I don't know if you remember. I remember the song very clearly. Outcast was playing, where it was "Hey Ya," know that song? But it was playing anyway. Google it. It's a really good song. But that song was playing. We're having a great night. And the music stopped, the lights came on, and I remember going to Gary and giving him my ticket for my jacket. And I said, "Gary, would you mind getting my jacket? I'm going outside, getting some fresh air, and I'll meet you outside." So I walked out the front door of Maximus nightclub, and I walked across the street. And as I walked across the street, there was a car. And I sat up in the boot of the car to rest my legs. And the sweat was still pouring out the top of my head from all the perspiration and the dancing that we were doing. And as I sat up in the boot of the car, I didn't realise there was someone in the car. And the car took off. And I got such a shock, I held on. And as I held on the back of the car, I remember going up on the car, and the car then just took up too much speed, and I couldn't hold on any longer. And I just came straight off the car and landed on the tarmac on the road, and smashed my head off the ground. I remember lying there, and I also remember the thud off the ground, and the feeling of just boom, hitting the ground. And I remember lying there and just seeing all these people coming in around me. And then all of a sudden I actually saw Gary looking at me, and I could see him in shock. And they lifted me up, and as they lifted me up, I just felt really dizzy. And they put me into the back of the car, and they said, "We're taking you to the hospital." And I told them, "No, I don't want to go to the hospital." But they took me to the hospital, and as we drove up to the hospital, I could see the worry on everybody's face that was in the car, in particular Gary. They took me out of the car, and as they walked me up towards the hospital door, I knew there was something seriously wrong, because I could feel my body wobbling all over the place. I could feel everything just kind of moving. And to fast forward a few days later, I'm lying in the hospital bed, and I remember seeing this team of doctors coming in and standing at the top of my bed. And I could hear everything so clearly as they spoke to one another. And the head doctor started to explain to the team of interns about my situation. And he said to them, I'll never forget this. He said, "This young man will probably never again walk, talk, or get the use of the right side of his face back due to the extent of the damage that he's after suffering." And he went into the damage then that I had suffered with my brain and my skull and my inner ear. So I remember lying there, and I had, if you can imagine, lying there and listening to this. I'm 21 years of age and being told I'll probably never again walk, talk, get my face back. I remember making a decision in my own mind that I'm going to prove this doctor wrong. And that gave me hope. So no matter what was being said to me, I always thought in my own mind that I was going to survive. And thankfully, I had that thought process. And no matter what was being said to me, I had my own belief system running in my mind. So forwarding on 30 days later, I'm still in the hospital, lying in the bed, and I remember asking one of the nurses to bring me to the bathroom. So as I was being brought down to the bathroom, I remember putting my hands on the sink, and I looked at myself in the mirror. And as I looked at myself in the mirror, I remember this side of my face was completely drooped, my eyes, everything was just completely drooped. And this side I smiled at myself in the mirror. And I said to myself, "Declan, today is the day you're going to walk again, and today is the day you're going to get your face back." Now, I knew nothing about visualization, I knew nothing about the power of positive thinking, I never read any of these self-help books. But I believed what I was telling myself, 100%. And what I done was, went to the bathroom, and I asked the nurse to bring me to the rehab room. And they said, "No, we can't bring you to the rehab room." I said, "Bring me to the rehab room." So I insisted, I kept being persistent with asking them to bring me to the rehab room. I remember being brought down to the rehab room, and I was put into one of these, like 2 little bars where you have to try and move yourself. Now, I could not put my right leg in front of my left. I couldn't do any movements like that. My face was still completely drooped. But what I did do was I visualised myself walking. I visualised myself talking properly. I visualised myself and my face moving again. 15 days later, on day 45, I walked out of the hospital front door, and I had my face back. Now, when I say I walked out, it was like a shuffle. I was barely moving, but I'd still beat the demon in my mind, which was sometimes telling me I wouldn't do it, but I kept overcrowding it, saying I would. So I remember sitting into my mom's car, into the passenger seat, and we were driving out the road towards home. And everything was just so painful, as in my head was sore, everything about me was sore. But I remember I couldn't even look out the windows because it was just like everything was spinning and around and around and around. And to fast forward this story, what happened to me was, I realised when I was recovering, as you can imagine, it took me a long time to get back on my feet. Even though I was very positive, I still got very down. I got very depressed. I wanted to finish everything, actually, because I felt I had lost who I was. Who was Declan Dore? Like, what's my identity now? I was known as an electrician. I was known as a sports player. My friends were my people that I either worked with or people that I played sport with. All of a sudden I no longer had this, because I wasn't working as an electrician, I wasn't working full stop, and I wasn't playing sport. I couldn't even watch sport. I couldn't even look at it on TV because I just get down over it. I couldn't even go and watch my friends play sport. And I'm still now trying to recover and get back on my feet. So what happened to me was, a number of years later, I decided I have to get out of this rut. And I set up my own business, never been in my own business, set up my own business, remortgaged my mom's house, got a really, really thriving business, was going very, very well, everything was going well. And then all of a sudden 2008 came. If you remember what happened in 2008, there was a big crash. My business crashed in the 2008 bubble. I found myself under serious pressure, serious stress, ended back up in hospital again from the stress, the pressure. Everything was crumbling around me once again. So what I done was, I made a decision, and that was, I have to get back on my feet again here and start a new venture. Which I did. Things accelerated, things started to move forward very quickly, and thankfully that's where I am here now today shooting this video. I've been through many different things in my life, and one of the passions that I have is to share with people how to get through adversity, how to be successful in both personal and professional environment. And what I'd like to share with you here is one little tip that I would highly encourage you to try and do. And that's to make sure when you're in your own life or in your own business is to try and get yourself a structure or a system to make things happen. And what I learned was there was only 3 things I had to do in order to be really productive. But before these 3 things, what I was doing was I had one diary for this, I had one book for this, I had sticky notes for that. I had everything all over my desk trying to manage my personal life and my professional life. And I remember there was days where I'd be away out on the road and I left something behind me and I couldn't remember what it was because it was written down on a piece of paper. And I was just getting very frustrated, and I realised there was 3 things I had to focus on. That was my list of things to do. There was my calls, my texts, my emails, and then there was what time am I going to actually do it. So a structure around where I'm going to do it. And this is where there's a gift in everything. I wouldn't be here shooting this video for you if I hadn't had that accident. If I hadn't gone through all that pain and suffering and recovery phase in my life. If I hadn't set up my own business where it miserably failed and I had a huge bad experience when it came to that business, but it wasn't bad if I actually think about it. It was a huge learning curve that brought me to the next phase in my life. So what I decided was I needed to create a system for me that worked. And I created this 1-page sheet, a productivity sheet, where I had those 3 things, where I had my list of things to do, I had another section for my calls, texts and emails, and then I had another section where I had my daily time planner. So I looked at it in 3 phases. So I went to a graphic designer, created this 1-page sheet, then I put it into a book, and this was all just for me. It was something that worked for me. And I had loads of people come up to me over the years and saying, Declan, how do you get so much done in such a short period of time? And I started to explain to people about this system. Then I had friends, I had work colleagues, I had people who were working for me asking me could they get this system. So then I had to get the printer to print more books. And I started to give some of the books out for people to actually just sample and try. And then people started coming back, reordering and wanting more. And that's where the Door Diary came about. And we're going to gift 10 Door Diaries to people here today. And you might be one of them if you're interested in this. If you'd like to get your own Door Diary, we're going to gift this to 10 people. And what we just love about this diary here in Door Concepts is the simplicity of it, because simple works. Trying to get something that's simple, effective, but yet works. This definitely does it. So what we'd like to do is to give back and to celebrate 14 years of getting to where I am here today and finally shooting this video here today for you. We'd like to give away 10 of these diaries. And all you need to do is add your details below. There's a link around this video somewhere. You just need to click on it. Add your details down below. And what we'll be doing is we'll be doing a Facebook Live video on Monday at 1:30 p.m. GMT time, Irish time, Dublin, UK time. And the 10 winners will be drawn and picked out on Monday. So if you don't have Facebook, that's okay. We can email you if you're a winner of one of the diaries. So hopefully you took something from this video. And again, the title of this is There's a Gift in Everything. There's so much more to my stories you can imagine. I've just touched on it there. But this is a gift that we'd like to give to you here today, that we just like to give back. And hopefully you've took something else from my story, that no matter what happens in your life, there is, something good can come out of it. And I'm a big believer in that, and I've always had that thought process, thankfully, where anything that went on in my life, I'd always say to myself, something good is going to come out of this. And I've often said this to people who are around me, and they said, Declan, how can something good come out of this? And I'd always say, I don't know, but I just know something good is going to come out of this. So hopefully something good will come out of this video for you, and you will be a winner, one of the 10 winners. And all you need to do is just click on the link below or above or wherever it is in this video, and make sure to share this with anybody, or give us a thumbs up, or if you think that someone might get value from this, please just send this on to them. And if you have any comments or queries or questions for me, please just comment down below, as I'd be happy to connect with you. And thank you so much, and wherever you are in the world, have a great St. Patrick's weekend. Have a pint of Guinness for me, please. And we hopefully will see you soon. All the best.